I've always wondered what a Napoleon II Total War might be like, or at least what a new kind of Total War would be if it was set in an even more modern time period. Enter Total FOTS the Carlist Wars. It's a mod I've been following for a long time now, and honestly, this could really be the closest thing we get to a sequel to Napoleon. It's from modders who created the Scramble for the Far East mod in Shogun 2, which is a brilliant, unique mod by the way. I highly recommend you check it out, and it aims to deliver an interesting period of Western European warfare that is ripe for great Total War gameplay. Recently, the team led by Izzi has, after years of work, finally finished the new custom campaign map for the Carlist Wars, and it is so impressive. I've kindly been given access to the mod for the last couple of days, so I've had some time to get in there, check out the campaign map, the new features, the units, etc. And in this video, I want to explore all the brilliant work done so far, all the features we can see here in the campaign map, and why I think this is one of the most exciting mods in development right now for Shogun 2 Total War. So first off, the mod is set during the Carlist Wars, which were a series of Spanish civil wars essentially during the 19th century that were fought between two rival political factions, the rebellious Carlists and the royalist Cristinos who supported the Spanish Queen. We've got other nations on the map as well here. We've got Portugal, France, the United Kingdom, and Gibraltar, and the total area of the map, and keep in mind this is still pre-alpha, goes from North Africa up to the southern area of France and goes as far east as Corsica and Sardinia and little bits of northern Italy. Not all of this has been filled, of course. The focus is the Carlist Wars, so the first priority has been to polish up France, Spain, and Portugal, but there is ample room to fill areas in North Africa with kingdoms like Morocco, Algiers, and fill the currently empty Sardinia area as well, with cities as well to represent the Kingdom of Sardinia, and Northern Italy with Piedmont and Austria, hopefully all in future updates. But while there's still lots of work to be done in these areas, the progress Izzi has made in France and Iberia is just absolutely immense. The campaign map has all of Iberia and southern France filled out with realistic terrain details, trade routes, cities, upgradable towns, visually upgradable as well by the way, rivers. In fact, looking at all of this now, I can't help but feel this is visually a stunning, detailed combination of Shogun 2 and Napoleon. From the snow-covered Pyrenees to the Alps to the retextured water and sun glinting off the waves, the various slight differences in elevation and terrain, the patches of forest and arid dry land. I mean, I can go on. I get a seriously good feeling that everything here, all the details have been meticulously designed and crafted to be as realistic and authentic as possible. A great example of this is the upgradable visual quality of your settlements. So when you upgrade your main settlement building or your defensive structure like your strongholds to fortresses, etc., you're giving your settlement a visual upgrade as well, which is just such commendable immersive work. We've got these beautiful looking building cards as well, which I just love. They're so modern looking. And obviously there's the dynamic town system as well with farms, industrial estates, some of which will have their own unique models, which just looks absolutely superb. The skyline has been changed from the vanilla gray to the more vibrant blue, and there's been a ton of work to make sure seasonal changes look good and dynamic as well. So going from the green landscape of spring to the more dry, arid summer to a more vanilla feel of winter, everything on the map, all the details will look a bit different. And with things like custom seasonal uniforms for generals and armies and units, this system will have lots of impact on other mechanics as well. Honestly, it's all about the details here, and Izzi has not stinged out. There are unique trader models that come as horse-drawn carriages or camels on land, to the steamships and sea trade routes, which are just so well done. There's the Napoleon hot air balloons dotted around the sky. As a lover of trains, I am mesmerized by the fantastic train tracks and the train routes that go from northern Spain to southern Spain to the eastern coast to France. It's just fantastic. And I just adore how much thought has gone into terrain details like proper looking farming land around your farms or the beautiful patches of arid desert around southern Spain. Literally anything and everything has been done to make this all come to life, and for a custom made campaign map, in my years of playing Total War mods, I have to say, this is one of the most impressive I've ever seen. The economy system is still being worked on, of course, but we've got a fair idea of what the buildings look like with the modern looking UI. It all works really well for the setting as well. It's all based on food supply, so you've got fishing wharves and docks for food production in your port buildings, as well as various levels of farms, while all the other buildings in your cities consume food, so you'll have to produce and manage your food very carefully. There's also a really nice dynamic resource system that feeds into your buildings like timber, which will be important for your early game lower tier buildings, and stone for your higher tier buildings, as well as other resources that are more scarce, of course, and in some cases may force you to do some international trade with other nations on the map, and proper intercontinental trade as well, which will give you things like cotton, spices, or tobacco. So lots of interesting design decisions going into this area as well. And to be perfectly clear, guys, everything we see here in the campaign map, everything I've described so far is the first version. Izzi has plans to expand it all into the east as well, with more of Italy, Greece, and the Balkans, plus Libya and parts of Western Egypt and Africa as well. And the campaign design will expand around these areas too, with the Italian unification wars and with others like the French invasion of Algeria too. So some huge plans to keep working and keep developing this beautiful map. One thing that came to my mind was I wondered why Izzi didn't use the European map for Shogun 2, the new old world overhaul, but I think this Carlist Wars map has been in production in kind of the same time in parallel, so in scale and detail it looks very, very different to old world overhaul, and to be honest, it looks way, way more polished as well. And in time, there's going to be so much more content coming in this mod as well. Battle maps for both land and sea battles. Custom siege maps will launch with the first version of public release, which is a massive positive. And there will be more interesting and detailed technologies that actually modernizes everything else with new tiers. Scripted events for more rebellions and other unique events as well, and more. I mean, there is much more content planned that I cannot wait to see for this. And it's also worth noting that this campaign will be playable in multiplayer as well. So having all of this accessible across with your friends in multiplayer campaigns is just going to be absolutely insane. In terms of recruitment, you'll get a global cap of recruitment and you'll have an in-depth population system to recruit from, so it's very nice to see that here. There's a variation of seasonal uniforms, so winter uniforms, for example, will incur more fatigue in battle, and wearing the wrong kind of uniform in the campaign will give you attritional penalties. There's currently a ton of work going into revamping all the unit rosters with new units, first for land battles and later down the line with naval units like ironclads as well, so plenty of work in this area in progress. And I mean, these units look awesome. Units in the Scramble for the Far East mod looked absolutely amazing. They really proved themselves there. And here, it looks like work is going above and beyond that level. So some really promising work being done here to flesh all the unit rosters out for launch as well. And your armies are going to have 400 individual soldiers per regiment, so battles are definitely going to be a very large-scale epic affair, befitting of the time period, of course, and more. I mean, early days here on the battle side of things, as many of the units are redone and visually rebuilt, but with everything kind of laid out, as it were, Izzi is now deep into implementation to get it all up to speed and make sure all factions have big rosters with as much variety as is historically possible. Overall, Total War is going through a bit of a lull right now, but the modding scene is still full steam ahead with new, exciting mods in development that aim to create totally unique experiences for the players looking to get more out of the series. The Carlist Wars is an excellent example of that. We've got a fantastic looking campaign map set in a brilliant period of modern warfare with tons of mechanics that will make replayability really high and give a lot of strategic depth to the average playthrough, and all built on Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, one of the most beloved titles in the series. And that's it for today, guys. Carlist Wars is deep into development, and with huge progress being made on the campaign, it genuinely looks like an incredible mesh of Napoleon and Shogun 2 to create a kind of spiritual successor to those games in the series. Hopefully we get to see more soon, and when we do, I'll be making more videos right here on the channel. In the meantime, I've dropped a link to Izzi's YouTube channel for his dev diaries and to the official Discord server where you can find out more about the mod and its latest updates. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, give it a like and drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think about the Carlist Wars and everything I've discussed here today. Subscribe to the channel for more Total War content just like this, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.